going? Welcome to a special edition of NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. Now, for those of you watching live, this is your one warning in case you did not see the title. This video contains spoilers. I am recording this right after the Raw taping in Manchester just concluded. Raw has not aired yet live in the United States as I'm doing this, so it is a slight tape delay, slight spoilers for those of you watching live. If you do not want to be spoiled, turn this video off, watch the on-demand version later. But anyways, for those of you wanting to know about tonight's Raw and you're curious about my thoughts, let's go ahead and talk about the major events from tonight's Raw. A very noteworthy edition of Monday Night Raw, despite it being on a slight tape delay. First of all, we have the tag teams for both the men's Survivor Series match and the women's Survivor Series match all set for the Survivor Series pay-per-view. We have Finn Balor and Samoa Joe joining Team Raw. Basically what happened was Samoa Joe came out, he jumped Titus O'Neil. It was supposed to be Samoa Joe versus Titus O'Neil, but Joe came out, attacked O'Neil, and then issued a challenge, and this led to Finn Balor coming out. So we had Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. They had a pretty lengthy match. The crowd was really into it. The crowd did the "This is awesome" chant for the match, but the match ended in a double countout. The crowd was not happy about this. They chanted BS. Kurt Angle came out and said, this is the kind of aggression he wants to see, or this is the kind of attitude he wants to see, something along those lines. And Angle basically added both of them to the Survivor Series match for Team Raw. And then after the announcement, the two of them continued to fight, and I think Balor jumped off the stage onto Joe, and then Balor's music played, and that was the segment. So no real surprises. If you've been following NoDQ.com, you knew the rumored lineup for Survivor Series, and that lineup did include Samoa Joe and Finn Balor. Now, the one surprise regarding Team Raw, and this might change next week, but right after that segment, we had a backstage segment where Kurt Angle announced that Jason Jordan would be the 5th and final member of Team Raw for Survivor Series, which means no Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, at least as of this moment, is not on Team Raw for Survivor Series. Now, this could change. Apparently, WWE is still hoping Reigns will be able to return for Survivor Series. And from what I'm hearing, Reigns is going to be on Raw next Monday night. It's always possible WWE could change things up, maybe do an angle where Jason Jordan gets taken out of the match and Roman Reigns gets added back in. And I see a lot of comments here about Pete Dunne. We will get to Pete Dunne in a few minutes here. Big segment with Pete Dunne, but we will talk about that in a few minutes. Right now, I just want to talk about Survivor Series. What do you guys think about Jason Jordan being part of Team Raw? Do you think that WWE should go with somebody else if Reigns is not available? Do you think this is just a storyline? Reggie says, why not Wyatt? Wyatt was not on this show again. No Bray Wyatt. What do you guys think? Do you think WWE should do something different? Do you think Jason Jordan should get the opportunity? I've seen a lot of comments on Twitter, people saying Jason Jordan is the odd man out, the one man that doesn't fit. The Rab TM says, was Paige on Raw? No, she was not, but if you are believing the rumors, WWE is planning to have her be on SmackDown. So if she's going to appear, we'll see if she appears on SmackDown Live tomorrow night. And by the way, it will be the same format with NoDQ Live tomorrow night. I will be doing NoDQ Live right after the tapings are over. So this will be before SmackDown Live goes on the air. Maria says Team Wyatt, or Bray Wyatt for Team Raw, Jordan sucks. Jason Jordan will be eliminated first. There you go. You need somebody to be eliminated first. Oh, wait a minute. WWE spoils title change. I just got that alert here. So, the ending of Raw. Let's go ahead and talk about that, and then we'll talk about the women's match. So, the ending of Monday Night Raw. We had The Shield versus The Bar for the tag team titles. And we had Under Siege Part 2. We had the New Day coming out through the crowd, cutting a promo, ripping into Raw. And I believe a bunch of the Raw guys came out, and it was total chaos. And in the chaos, Cesaro and Sheamus managed to pull off the victory and become the new tag team champions. Now, apparently, WWE spoiled this. For those of you in the chat room, confirm this for me. WWE gave away the result of this match from Monday Night Raw. Let me know about this. This is what I'm hearing. I just got a text alert. So you guys in the chat, let me know if WWE did in fact spoil this for tonight's Raw. Brother Nero is saying, yep. Dennis says, yeah, I saw the results. They posted it in their app. So there you go. So for those of you out there, you know what? This is a little mini Rift rant here. You guys get on my case about spoiling things. I was really careful not to spoil anything for this video. The thumbnail doesn't give away anything. The title doesn't give away anything. Yet, sometimes, you know, after a pay-per-view, I will post the result in the title or the thumbnail. And then you guys get on my case. And I try to tell you, WWE does the same exact thing. WWE gives away actual spoilers before something is even aired on television. This is the perfect example. So now WWE has already given it away. I can say it now. I can put it in the title. WWE already spoiled it. So if you're going to be mad at somebody for spoiling things, blame WWE. Or stay off the internet if you don't want to be spoiled. You know, that's what I always tell people. People get on my case all the time about spoiling things, even though after a show has aired, it's no longer a spoiler. It is news. It has happened. It is an event that has taken place in front of the world publicly, officially. It's not a spoiler. So those of you that complain when I do the pay-per-view results, and by the way, you guys that follow me for all these years, you should know by now. You're following a news and spoiler website, and then you get mad when you see a title that says, TLC results, Kurt Angle makes his return, or Kurt Angle is victorious at TLC, and you guys get mad that I spoiled it because you hadn't watched it live. That's not my problem. And for those of you that get mad, WWE spoils things that haven't even aired yet. So anyways, that is my rant. Donovan says calm down. I'm not going to calm down. This is NoDQ Live. I am here to speak my mind and say whatever I'm thinking. I tell it like it is, as Jesse Ventura would say. Alright, so anyways, we have new tag team champions. Spoiler alert. But by this time, I'm sure you guys all know that. If you're subscribed to the WWE app, you already know that. The Bar, new tag team champions. Deep breath. Gotta calm down and relax. Retro says, I like the t-shirt. Yeah, Macho Man t-shirt right here. There you go. That is from Pro Wrestling Tees, the Pro Wrestling Crate. You guys can check out those crate unboxing videos if that's your thing. I have several of them up on the channel if you haven't seen them. Adam says Raw was crap, and I'm not going to use the actual word he used. Raw sounds pretty interesting, actually. The main event sounds interesting, of course, with a title change. And now people are wondering, what does this mean? Kikoa, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, I apologize. Are you a fan of the title change? I'm not sure yet. I mean, we'll see how things play out over the next week, but I was looking forward to the Usos versus Ambrose and Rollins, and now it's really weird because it's heels versus heels unless something's going to happen on SmackDown and the Usos lose the titles and we have the Bar versus New Day, or the Bar versus Rollins will win back the titles next week. Who knows? Any number of things can happen, but I was really looking forward to that match, and I will be disappointed if it's not happening at Survivor Series. So an interesting turn of events with the Bar becoming the new tag team champions. Drew says New Day versus The Shield at Survivor Series. I could possibly see that happening, but I was looking forward to Ambrose and Rollins versus The Bar. Now, I have to say, this whole segment with the tag team title change, it does remind me a bit of WCW in 1996 with the NWO. I'm not sure if you guys remember the tag team match where it was, I think it was Harlem Heat versus Sting and Luger, and you had Hall and Nash come out with the baseball bats, and there was all this confusion, and during the confusion, there was a roll-up, and there was a title change. This definitely seemed like a modern-day version of that. So I think it's interesting. I think it's a good thing to do. So we are having technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one downside to NoDQ Live. You know, when I do the pre-recorded videos, I can edit all the mistakes and the technical problems. This is the first time this has happened where I keep getting disconnecting pop-ups in front of me. But apparently we're back now. Hopefully it's not delaying too much. Seth says, too young to remember that 96 thing. Kevin Dunn strikes again. There you go. Maybe Kevin Dunn is trying to sabotage this video. John says you're good. So anyways, that was the main event segment. Let's talk about Pete Dunne. So Pete Dunne has officially debuted on the main roster. We had Enzo coming out for a promo, and then Kurt Angle came out and introduced Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. So it was a Cruiserweight versus a Bruiserweight match. Pete Dunne, from what I heard, got the biggest reaction of the night in Manchester. And this sounds like a really big debut. Great way to debut him in the UK. Jason says, who is Pete Dunne? So I think he's just trolling people, but maybe he is, maybe he's not. Got a question in here. Where's Tyler Bate? So speaking of Tyler Bate, now they did announce a segment for 205 Live. Apparently, the 205 Live superstars are inviting the entire UK division to 205 Live. So maybe we're going to see the Cruiserweights versus the UK division at Survivor Series. That would be an interesting matchup. What do you guys think about that? It sounds like WWE is going to do some sort of angle with the Cruiserweights and the UK division for Survivor Series. That would at least make sense to me. But yeah, anyways, Pete Dunne made his debut and picked up the win over Enzo. And then Kalisto raised Pete Dunne's hand and gave him the props and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens on 205 Live. 205 Live, there's actually a reason to tune in to 205 Live now to see what's going to happen with the whole UK division. Do you think they gave the Bar the titles to possibly add the Shield to the Survivor Series team? No, because the Survivor Series team is set. We have all 5 members now confirmed. It's Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan, which could be changed to Roman Reigns, depending on what happens on next week's Raw. Maybe WWE will clear Roman Reigns and they'll do an angle. And then you have Braun Strowman, and then you have Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. The team is all set. So I am really perplexed as to why WWE would do the tag team title change. Justin says 205 bore. Marshall says hi, Aaron. Keith Ballard says hi, Aaron. Oh, Khalib Jones just made a super chat donation. So thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I guess you guys can leave donations on here. I think I forgot to mention somebody. Somebody did it last week. So if you guys do want to contribute, there's a way to do the super chat donation, and you guys can leave a special message, excuse me. So thank you, Khalib, for that donation. Khalib Jacobs, thank you very much for that. Much appreciated, sir. Malik X says, what's good, man? Kayfabe Candy Ass says, are you going to sing? Oh, Khalib, if you have any other requests, anything you would like me to talk about since you made the super chat donation, go ahead and leave a comment. I will read it off. Anything you would like me to talk about. We have 179 people in the chat room right now, which is a little bit lower than usual, but I'm also doing this at a really weird time just because of the circumstances of the taped Raw, and I wanted to discuss the spoilers. Roman Reigns says, can you repeat the spoiler about... Oh, just joined. Well, go over to NoDQ.com. NoDQ.com has the spoilers. And by the way, I believe we fixed the whole redirect problem for those of you that are using mobile devices. Don Brown says no sound or pictures. Well, yeah, we're having some sort of issues here. Some people are telling me I'm fine. Others are telling me there's some issues. Omega versus Jericho is a dream match, says Khalib. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick and then I'll get back to Raw. Huge match announced for Wrestle Kingdom 12. And that is a big one because Chris Jericho is doing his first non-WWE match, to my knowledge, since he joined WWE. This is pretty significant. Now, I'm not sure what's going on, if Jericho got WWE's approval or not. He's not under contract to the company. He comes in for the little short runs, and then once he's done, he's done. He made that one appearance on SmackDown a few months back, but that was a one-off thing. And then he went off to do his Fozzy stuff. So he has no commitment to WWE right now. You would think he would ask WWE and not get on WWE's bad side. But like I said on NoDQ video this past week, Chris Jericho is one of those few guys that can really get away with it. Chris Jericho, he doesn't need WWE. If they're going to be mad at him, so be it. I really don't think he's going to lose any sleep over WWE being mad at him. I think Jericho's going to do what he wants. And if you read on NoDQ.com, Jericho himself talked about how he wanted to have NXT as part of his cruise for next October, but WWE turned it down. I guess Vince doesn't want to risk guys getting sick on the cruise, which, what do you guys think? Do you think that's a silly excuse or not? We all know how Vince is about people being sick. He doesn't want that to happen. But yeah, Chris Jericho, he's trying to develop a working relationship. Khalib Jones says that's petty. Jericho's trying to set up a relationship with Ring of Honor and New Japan. And my guess is, you know, we already have the Young Bucks scheduled for the cruise. And I think there's a pretty solid chance we're going to see Kenny Omega as part of the Jericho cruise next year. And, you know, this whole thing for Wrestle Kingdom is Jericho building a relationship with Kenny Omega and New Japan Pro Wrestling and possibly getting even more guys as part of the cruise. So I think it's just Jericho trying to network here and build a relationship with these guys for the cruise because from my understanding, it's Jericho who's putting his own money into this. He doesn't have any investors. It's Jericho's own financial risk doing this cruise. And if WWE's not going to work with him, he's got to do what's best for his business. You know, he's trying to make money here. So if he's going to work with the Young Bucks, work with Kenny Omega, he's going to do that to make this cruise a success. I think that's what the ultimate motive here is for Chris Jericho in doing this New Japan match with Kenny Omega, to further build the relationship between Jericho and Ring of Honor / New Japan Pro Wrestling. So anyways, back to Raw. STVOJ, is that Steve? Steve, he asks if I'm going to the cruise. I would be interested in going on that cruise for sure, but I'm not sure I'm going to pay whatever ridiculous amount of money it is. However, if they want to offer a wrestling so-called journalist to cover the event and maybe offer me a discount, I might have to consider it. So if anybody out there that represents Chris Jericho, they want to hook me up with something, I would be more than happy to consider it. And yes, it is Steve. Thank you for tuning in, Steve. I appreciate it. Tony says I'm a prick. Not sure why. ZR says, how come you never got a press pass? I'm not sure what you're asking me in terms of the press pass. WWE doesn't give out press passes, at least to people that run internet sites. WWE hates the internet sites and any quote dirt sheet websites, so that doesn't happen. I'd love to get some sort of press though for the cruise. If it means I get a discounted cruise, you know, I'm not gonna count on a free cruise or anything, but a discounted cruise to cover the event for the website, you know, I could use the vacation. So Jericho's people, any of you watching this perhaps, hit me up. I would be more than happy to cover the event for NoDQ.com. The No-D Cruise. How about that? So I'm getting some questions in here about Roman Reigns. From my understanding, he is going to be on Raw next week, and if he's cleared, WWE might do some angle where Jason Jordan is taken out. Jason Jordan is the backup plan for Survivor Series if Reigns cannot work the Survivor Series pay-per-view. And WWE's playing it safe right now. They're doing the angle with Jason Jordan, and if for some reason Reigns is cleared next week, we might see an angle where Jordan is replaced by Reigns. That's what appears to be the plan at this time. So Reigns is not 100% out of Survivor Series just yet. Things could always change next Monday night depending on his recovery and if he's cleared by next week. But WWE is being very cautious about it. So that is the latest regarding Roman Reigns. Is this the only No DQ live tonight? Yes, Braden. I'm doing them early this week. Tomorrow night will be the same thing. I will be doing No DQ live right after SmackDown is done taping in Manchester. So tune in early if you want to watch live. And if you can't, then you can just tune in for the on-demand version. Steve says, I'm fully expecting Roman to replace Jason Jordan. We'll have to wait and see. Also, we have several women confirmed for the Raw team. There was a tag team match. Bayley and Sasha Banks defeated Alicia Fox and Nia Jax. From what I remember, Sasha Banks tapped out Alicia Fox, and then Alicia Fox, who is, of course, the team captain, she announced that Sasha and Bayley were added to the team. And also, Asuka is officially on the Raw women's team. So that's interesting. Asuka did win a match on Raw. Oh, Khalib left another $1 donation. Thank you, Khalib. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat donations. I appreciate it. Khalib, you're definitely on my good list. So I will make sure to look out for your messages and you will get priority now. For those of you that want priority in terms of the chat messages or questions, there's that super chat button. You can leave your donation or whatever. And of course, it is much appreciated. I'm also working on speaking of supporting the website or whatever. I'm actually working on a design. Well, it's actually Virtue's design, but a Virtue's Rage t-shirt should be coming up soon on ProWrestlingTees.com. So for those of you that are Virtue fans out there, you can check that out and pick up a Virtue t-shirt to support not only No DQ, but Virtue as well. Oh, Die Eve says, finally I catch your live stream. Well, there you go. Welcome to the live stream. I appreciate you tuning in. Offman Rule says, where's the Rift Rant t-shirts? I'm working on that too. If you guys would like a Rift Rants t-shirt, I could definitely get that in production. But we do have a Virtue's Rage shirt coming up pretty soon. Khalib Jacob says, can I be on a live stream? I don't know how to do that unless I do like a Google Hangouts, but if you would like to be on a panel video, I can definitely put you up to the front of the line in terms of future panel videos if you're interested in being on a video with us. Kayfabe Candy Ass is here, by the way. Who wants a Candy Ass t-shirt? How about that, guys? A Kayfabe Candy Ass t-shirt. But anyways, I want to ask you guys, what do you think about Asuka being on Team Raw? And does that guarantee a Team Raw victory? Let me know what you guys think about that. Leave a comment. Asuka did win a squash match on tonight's Raw in Manchester, but that's no big deal. Keith Ballard says it's a great idea. Ricky Lawson says it's too predictable. Reggie says dumb move too soon. Justin Jones says, did you see Triple H on IWC? Yes, I did. I did post a video of that on No DQ on Sunday. So, Triple H is really trying to expand WWE's reach in the UK, no doubt. And, Triple H showing up there definitely is a good thing for WWE and for the indie promotions. WWE's trying to develop a relationship with these companies and use these companies as developmental territories, in addition to NXT. So, Triple H is being really hands-on, and I think it's a really cool thing that he showed up at that event. It's a win-win for everybody involved, no doubt. Yes, Asuka is in fact on the Raw team for this pay-per-view. I don't believe there was any announcement about John Cena yet. We'll see what happens on SmackDown. They may save that for the go-home show. In a minute here, I will talk about Bound for Glory real quick and give my thoughts, even though I have not seen most of the pay-per-view. Oh, Khalib says, I live right by you in Hermiston, Oregon. Oh, right on. That's very cool. I'm not sure where that is exactly, but if it's near Portland, then yes, we are very close. I'm trying to think if there's anything else from Raw. Who do you see Asuka losing to first? Interesting question. I don't think it should really be anybody on Raw. Maybe Charlotte if they do an interpromotional match, or one of the top, either Charlotte or maybe even Ronda Rousey if WWE wants to do Asuka versus Ronda Rousey. I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't think Asuka should be losing anytime soon. I'm seeing comments here about Paige. Maybe Paige will end up on SmackDown. Like I said, we'll have to see what happens on SmackDown. You would think she would appear on that show. There's a lot of speculation. Apparently she was on a flight over the weekend. We'll have to see what happens. It's by Pendleton, if you know where that is. How far away is it miles-wise from Portland, Khalib? That could help me out, because I'm not familiar with a lot of the smaller towns in Oregon. I've only been here about a year and a half or so, not even a year and a half. Will WWE reform PCB? Yeah, they could if all three of them are on the same brand. So that could definitely happen. Oh, so let's talk about the Braun Strowman-Miz match, which was announced on Raw. The show kicked off with Miz TV. Kurt Angle came out. They set up Braun Strowman versus Miz. During that match, we had Kane come out and confront Braun Strowman. Strowman power slammed not only Strowman, Strowman power slammed himself. Botch. Strowman power slammed both Kane and The Miz. So WWE's really making Strowman strong here leading up to the Survivor Series pay-per-view. What were the funniest moments ever in a wrestling panel? I'm not sure off the top of my head. I mean, we just have a lot of technical difficulties in general, so I don't have any particular moment that I can think of off the top of my head, but if I can think of one, at some point I'll mention it, but I'm not sure if any off the top of my head. I'm seeing a lot of comments here about PCB, so apparently you guys would like to see that. You would like to see a PCB reunion on SmackDown. We could definitely see that for Survivor Series. It would make sense for Paige to be part of SmackDown. I'm not sure how many of the... you guys might have to help me here. How many of the SmackDown women's competitors have been announced at this point? Oh, Khalib says a couple of hours, probably 150 miles. Okay, so not too far. Not too far from Portland. Jeremiah says, is Eli Drake going to NXT next year? Probably not in the near future, since he is still, in fact, the Impact Wrestling Champion. So let's go ahead and talk about... Let's talk about the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. I only saw a few segments. Of course, the big story was the return that not a lot of people really wanted to see, and that was the return of Alberto El Patron. He came out. I did see this segment. I did not see most of the pay-per-view, but I did see El Patron's entire worked shoot promo. He came out. He basically said that the company believed all the fake media about him, with the airport incident with Paige, and they unfairly suspended him. He kept saying this company. He used the phrase this company like 20 times during the promo, and I thought that was just way overkill. Wasn't a big fan of that at all. I just thought it wasn't a very strong promo, and then he started ripping into Jeremy Borash, and I just thought it was a lame attempt to do a work shoot promo. I thought it was weak personally. And then we had a few debuts. We had Sami Callihan debut in the 5150 street fight. And we also had Jimmy Jacobs making his debut, and apparently everybody's supposed to know who he is watching at television. I'm guessing most of the fans that are left, because TNA really doesn't have any casual viewers. I'm assuming most of the audience knows who he is, but if I'm a casual viewer watching this, I'm like, who is this guy? Some guy comes out and everybody's like, oh, it's Jimmy Jacobs. I'm like, who? Yeah, he just comes out here and we're all supposed to know who he is automatically. Felt like something Vince Russo would book. So anyways, he came out and, you know, the typical segment where Borash and Josh Matthews pretended like they had no idea that he worked there. Like, I thought it was dumb. I thought it was a dumb segment. And then the main event, Eli Drake retained the title. Alberto El Patron came out. He hit Johnny Impact with an unprotected chair shot, which is interesting. He attacked both guys, so, you know, I guess El Patron's supposed to be a heel now, but the whole thing was just very convoluted. And a lot of fans were negative on the finish of the show. Yeah, TJ, was it? R. Jim Slim says very, very weak finish to the show. Kanye West says, did Samoa Joe and Finn Balor get added to Team Raw? Yes, they did. So overall, I mean, I'm not really surprised with Impact. Oh, by the way, Santino Marella was shown in the crowd. So we'll see if he's going to be a regular part. I'm sure we'll have spoilers up on NoDQ.com, so you can check out NoDQ if you want to find out what's going on at Impact Wrestling this week, or TNA, whatever you want to call it. Jeremiah says TNA is going deeper in the hole. Yeah, the arena did not look very impressive. I mean, they were reportedly sold out, but it looked like a very small venue, you know, no bigger than the Impact Zone. So it's not like they're really gaining any momentum. It still looked very low rent. Apparently, people had to use porta potties, and it was not a very good situation for that many people, 500 people, and apparently only a few porta potties. So I heard that was a very unpleasant experience in that regard. But apparently the people that were there live enjoyed it for the most part, so it is what it is, whatever. But I don't feel Bound for Glory did anything to really elevate TNA. And it's not really the talent's fault, you know, like Bully Ray says. The guys really work hard, and it's not their fault. It's the people in charge, and it doesn't matter whether it's Dixie Carter or Vince Russo or Jeff Jarrett or anybody. It's pretty much the same thing. Ricky Lawson said worst pay-per-view of the year. So yeah, not a lot of high praise about the show other than the efforts of the performers. The talent in TNA, it's definitely there, but you know, they're not really going to be utilized, in my opinion, ever to their best potential. Let's see, why is this on now? Because Raw just concluded in Manchester, and I decided to record early before Raw and talk about all the breaking news. And besides, like I said earlier, Raw, WWE already announced the tag team title change on social media. So it's already out there, so I might as well talk about it now and get this video over with. Ricky Lawson, I just talked about Alberto's promo. I thought it was very weak. Thought it was very weak for a so-called worked shoot promo. This company. Just Alberto's not that good at delivering those types of promos, and I thought it was really lame and not believable. They're trying to do the whole worked shoot thing, and I don't think it worked very well, personally. Matthew Smith, how was Pete Dunne on Raw? He came out and beat Enzo. And apparently we're going to see some sort of angle with the cruiserweights and the bruiserweights. Or they're not all bruiserweights. They're just Pete Dunne's the bruiserweight. The UK division, excuse me. On 205 Live, we're supposed to be getting this segment with the cruiserweights inviting the UK division to the show. So we might have some angles set up for Survivor Series. Will Ricochet debut in January at the Royal Rumble? He very well could. I mean, that is something that's definitely rumored. My gut feeling is he'll go through NXT first, but never say never. He might debut, but like AJ Styles said, it's better for the guys to go through NXT first. And AJ Styles was like that one exception to the rule. Beyond that, I think most guys are going to go through NXT first. We might see somebody debut at the Royal Rumble from NXT. I mean, I would not rule that out, like an Eric Young or somebody like that, perhaps. But anyways, guys, I will go ahead and wrap up this video. I will be back tomorrow night for another edition of NoDQ Live. Again, thank you to Khalib for donating in the super chat. I appreciate it. And you guys, the rest of you, are more than welcome to donate to the super chat. And I'll be sure to give you some shout outs. Maybe put you to the top of the list of a NoDQ panel video. You know, I'll make it worth your while the best I can. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow night around the same time as soon as the SmackDown taping is concluded in Manchester. So I'll talk more about Survivor Series, the fallout from AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal, what's going to happen at Survivor Series. And, you know, you can send in more questions about TNA. Maybe we'll talk about the TNA spoilers because I don't think people will care too much. I'm just going to talk about spoilers in general. So maybe we'll talk about some of the Impact Wrestling stuff and see what happens at the tapings. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. Apparently we got the redirect problem fixed. So for those of you that were having problems on mobile devices, you should be fine now. If not, let me know and I'll continue to investigate. But otherwise, stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest, and I will see you guys next time for more. Bye-bye.